Imagine your childhood. Imagine the things you loved most as a kid. Maybe growing up in this generation, it was an Xbox, or it was a TV, perhaps it was your bicycle. Perhaps it was just the comfort of sitting at home in your living room with your family and watching movies on the holidays, or having people come in and have somewhere to stay. Now, imagine every single thing you love. Everything you remember from your childhood stripped away from you one by one. Your Xbox, your home, your family. And you are left with absolutely nothing. The problem today that we're dealing with, without any comforts, all those things stripped away, is homelessness. Now you may wonder, where does this disconnect come from? Where does this all these comforts from being a kid to all of a sudden strip them all away and we're talking about homelessness? Where does that come from? Where is the disconnect? Where is the gap that I've just kind of pointed out to? We'll get there. But according to greendoors.org, homelessness can be defined by 4 categories. The first category is people who are living in a place not meant for human habitation, an emergency shelter, in transitional housing, or are exiting an institution where they temporarily resided. The second category is people who are losing their primary nighttime residence within 14 days and lack resources or support networks to remain in housing. The third is families with children or unaccompanied youth who are unstably housed and likely to continue in that state. And the fourth is people who are fleeing or attempting to flee domestic violence, have no other residence, and lack the resources or support networks to obtain other permanent housing. And here's where the disconnect comes in. Here's where the real rub is, and here is why I point to your childhood. Because this second fact is shocking and actually kind of terrifying for this country. According to SafeHorizon.org, approximately 53,000 young people call the streets home each year, and approximately 5,000 of those young people will die each year to causes from living on the streets. If that isn't enough to turn your stomachs and make you sick, I don't know what is. Imagine everything you loved about your childhood, as I said, and imagine it all stripped away from you. Imagine all the fears you had, imagine all the insecurities, imagine all the anxieties, imagine having to die alone on the streets as a young adult or as a young child. The scariest thing is that a lot of these things aren't even the problems of the young person or the adult, whoever's homeless. The third fact I have is, according to nationalhomeless.org, many of these victims are victims of domestic violence. It hasn't been their fault. They're trying to flee from domestic violence at home, from an abusive situation. Many also deal with mental disorders, things that, or they're dealing with a family medical issue that their family couldn't afford to pay for, so they have to live on the streets. A lot of these victims are kids. The most innocent and the most needing to be preserved person in society. And 5,000 of them approximately are dying each year. Here's what I need from you guys, my fellow employees. Here's what I'm asking for you to do. I'm asking for you to invest in a homeless program. We have an awesome program, and the program that I'm sponsoring is a program that takes people in off the streets, provides them with a place to stay, a safe shelter. It provides them with warm food, a warm bed, with activities to do. But what I'm asking you is to volunteer. As a volunteer, I'm asking you to come in and mentor a homeless person. To take your business advice you've learned from our company. Come in and invest in someone. Share your knowledge with them. And get them on track to get a job. In the shelter, what we're doing is we're offering opportunity, and we're offering companies to come in and who are wanting to help us and help these homeless people get back on their feet. Come in and be a mentor. If you can't do that, what I am going to ask is going to ask you to give financially. What I'd like from you is I would like you to donate a small sum, and what that sum is going to go towards helping fund programs that help fight domestic violence. For kids who are on the streets, help them get to our shelter, and help get them in this program where we get to mentor the youth as well. So if you're not going to volunteer, donate to the fund. Donate and help save a kid's life. Help bring that 5,000 people a year, 5,000 young people dying on the streets year statistics down. Now the beauty is I have friends who work in this kind of industry. I have friends who do this for a living. And to see the impact that they're having, to see the impact of saving lives and helping to get homeless people jobs and get them off the streets, it's amazing. The things that they're doing in their lives, whether it's through a church organization or whether it's through things that my mom's involved in, helping homeless women come off the streets and giving them a safe place, a place to learn and grow and get them back plugged into society where they can be efficient and effective again and feel like they have a purpose. Help these people. So I'm asking you to donate, but if you can go even further, volunteer and help get somebody's life back on track. I've seen what it can do. I've seen how it can help people. I have friends who are in this, and I've seen how promising and awesome it is. But if you can't volunteer, just give a little bit of your paycheck. It's so small. You won't even notice. But I know somebody else will.